This video is brought to you by my lovely patrons over at Patreon, where just $1 a month will get you access to exclusive content like my deleted videos archive and patron-only live streams like the one I'm going to be doing later today.
If the accusations turn out to be false, then you treat them as false accusations. But until I have a reason to believe that they're false, I believe the accusers. And I mean, I'm sure that there have been many accusations that quote-unquote sounded false that turned out to be true. Like the fact that it sounds false isn't evidence to me.
Feminists under fire for defending scholar accused of sexual harassment. Now, this story doesn't actually have anything to do with Steve Shives, but fuck, I'd love to hear his thoughts on it. A group of prominent feminists is facing backlash over a letter they signed, defending an academic accused of sexual harassment because she is an important figure in feminist literary theory. In what started off as a humdrum Me Too story with a twist, 30-year-old male PhD student accuses 66-year-old female New York University professor of sexual harassment has now reached peak internet gossip level after 50 academics, including several influential feminists, defended the scholar. Oh, of course they did. Feminists are a bunch of mangy, hypocritical cunts, and I'd expect nothing less from them. It wasn't that long ago that horrible, nauseating feminist Lena Dunham was defending her director mate against sexual assault accusations on the basis that the accusations must be false because he is her friend and she's known him for 5 years. And this one's just as ridiculous. This group of feminists have co-signed a letter defending the accused professor on the basis that the accusations must be false because she's a brilliant professor.
Dripping with autism.
Avital Ronald, a world-renowned professor of German and comparative literature at New York University, was accused by a student only known as M. I think that's a bit rough. Why should an accuser be able to remain anonymous while the accused is named publicly? Who filed a complaint last September in the university's Title IX office, the department named after the civil rights law that prohibits discrimination on the basis of gender in federally funded educational institutions. In May, colleagues of Ronald sent a letter to the university's administration signed by a list of character witnesses, including about 50 intellectuals and many leading feminist theoreticians who lambasted the accusation as a witch hunt. That's right, the feminists are complaining about a witch hunt. And emphasised Ronald's academic achievements. The letter says she is the real victim in the story. Judith Butler, the influential philosopher and gender theorist, and philosopher Slavoj Zizek are among those who have reportedly signed their name to the letter, which described Ronald as someone whose influence is felt throughout the humanities and the most important figure in literary studies at New York University. Harvey Weinstein's influence was felt throughout the film industry. He was one of the most important people in Hollywood. But imagine the horrific shellacking the feminists would rain down on anyone dumb enough to consider that any defence against the sexual assault accusations he faces. The letter was made public by Brian Lita, a professor of philosophy and law at the University of Chicago Law School, in a blog post he titled, "Blaming the victim is apparently okay when the accused in a Title IX proceeding is a feminist literary theorist." In the letter, Ronald's colleagues also warned the administration that if she were to be terminated or relieved of her duties, the injustice would be widely recognised and opposed. The ensuing loss for the humanities for New York University and for intellectual life during these times would be no less than enormous and would rightly invite widespread and intense public scrutiny, the letter warned. Critics of the letter have dubbed this effort by the academic community and feminists in particular hypocritical for going against the party line in which accusers should always be believed and the connections or achievements of the accused should be at least irrelevant, if not actually used as evidence of their power over the victim. Well, that's the thing. Feminists are the victims. They're always the victims, no matter what. They clearly state this professor is the victim in their letter, so I doubt they'll see any hypocrisy on their own part. They're feminists. They're mangy, delusional cunts. Cheerio.
Recession, session. Giving better times. Recession, session.